I know I usually do a gimmick, some drama of sorts before I start every Inside Line podcast recording. But Kunal, here's the deal. I think we should really thank people who are following our podcast because we've been inconsistent in the last 2 weeks and we've been late on it. And still we've got the same view, the same enthusiasm, the same kind of feedback. This is amazing, no?
Precisely. You've become the media man.
Yeah, I'm the media man. Kunal Shah, Rishi Kapoor together get you this podcast. On Formula One, this is the pre-Canadian Grand Prix podcast, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. What a beautiful track. What a legendary track. What a legendary turn, the Wall of Champions.
Yes, but before you go to the Wall of the Champions, Rishi, I want to take a look back to the legendary 2010 Canadian Grand Prix.
Oh, yes.
Which in my view is to be blamed for all the tire woes we are facing.
Yes, the 2010 Canadian Grand Prix, for those who don't remember, was a multiple stop Grand Prix. That year, everybody was doing a single stop race, practically every single race, except this one, where it was very, very entertaining and got us some great TV. And
Yeah, I think everyone did 4 stops, I remember.
Yes.
And tires were flying all over the place. And unfortunately, what happened is the F1 management went and told Pirelli, that's the kind of a race we want every country we go to. That's where we've currently led Pirelli. I mean, Pirelli has been asked to lead us to.
Yes, very strangely, this is a track not usually known to be very hard on the tires and Pirelli. As far as the saga goes, let me please update you, Kunal.
Yes, please.
Everybody's been saying that Mercedes is wrong, it's going to have an advantage. It's not going to happen because the tire that Pirelli tested was not the tire that's going to be used this year. The only thing they're getting for Canada is an upgraded tire, which is also not confirmed, which also might get delayed. So the entire negation of advantage with the 2013 car is become a slight question. Also, Ferrari has been summoned by FIA ki please come with your data and we want to see the last
That secret test apparently
that you guys did. It's a 3-hour movie which is actually going to be stretched for 3 months now.
Yeah. Karan Johar style.
Yeah, Karan Johar style. It's getting a little Bollywood.
But on the tire saga, interesting what you've mentioned. Okay. But given that this is the world of Formula One, it's a world of lies, my dear friend. Okay. We will only know if a Mercedes will get pole in Canada, I'm guessing. Okay. But if they end up winning, trust me, this 3-month, it's going to be a 6-month long movie.
Yes, it's going to be a very angry few Christian Horners and Stefano Domenicali's who are going to blame each other and the FIA. By the way, Pirelli's clearly said that Mercedes had informed FIA about using the 2013 car and now FIA has to counter-attack.
Before it counterattacks, the FIAs of the world, have known to be biased towards and against a few teams, etc. But I won't say much. Let's move on. It's a positive thing. We're entering Canada, one of your favorite circuits and mine, and one of our favorite corners, and that is
the Wall of Champions.
The Wall of the Champions.
A few champions that have not been there are
the few champions that haven't been there. I think, in my view, we've had a Lewis Hamilton who's not been in there.
Correct.
We've had a Sebastian Vettel who's
Let's
not
jinx
been
him.
in there. Yes. We've had Alonso who's also not been in there.
Correct.
Okay. We, however, have also had Pastor Cristiano go in there. Yes, he's not an F1 champion, he's a GP2 champion.
Which also means there's another man called
Oh my God.
Grosjean. And I'm sure he's going to go there, but not alone, because that's his style.
Yeah, and given the kind of weekend he's had in Monaco, I don't want to be around a Roman Grosjean if he's driving anywhere around the Wall of the Champions.
I want to be his pit crew because I'll be going home early.
Or you could be overworked with the number of front wings and I don't even know what else will end up damaging on the car.
That is our favorite circuit that we're talking about. Okay, few favorite corners. I'll tell you the 3 parts that I really like. There's a long straight, lot of overtaking. Last year, Lewis Hamilton had a slightly different strategy to win there. Just before that was the hairpin. Fabulous turn. I've seen Massa overtake 2 cars together over there.
Yeah.
And the Wall of Champions, which is another brilliant.
Yeah, that chicane is just out of the ordinary. It is just so brilliant. I would love to drive on that chicane someday.
Fabulous. Someday our dreams are going to come true. See, last year Hamilton won the 6th race of the season here, which was his first race win. Can you imagine him being on the top step of the podium this weekend?
I don't know that. I don't know. Mercedes will be on pole, and I don't know if Hamilton will be able to clinch victory. But I do have a feeling they're going to go backwards in the race, but not as backward as one would imagine.
Alright. One person going backward with plight is Felipe Massa, because I've heard something new and you've actually brought it to my notice.
Yes, apparently Kamui Kobayashi in the last couple of days has
Uh-huh.
tested the F10
Uh-huh.
and he's been touted to be Masa's 2014 replacement. But it's just so unfortunate.
Mhm.
Masa was on the podium a few races back and everyone was like, oh my god, he's going to
Hey,
probably get a
he's back.
2014
Whoa.
contract.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And he's had that issue in Monaco. He's done a Schumacher in Monaco. Okay. Only that he's crashed. Okay. Like we spoke in the last podcast.
Uh-huh.
And now everyone's baying for his blood. Now, poor guy. But, well, moving on.
But I thought Vettel was going to go to Ferrari. I mean, that was the entire rumor and the Vettel, and there's this whole saga how the Ferrari main boss does not actually want Alonso to drive, but to have another German who will win everything. That's what Vettel does.
Yeah, that's what Vettel does. And, it's interesting that you say that because we've all been hearing rumors of Vettel wanting to go to Ferrari or will he go, what will he do? But, it's also interesting. He's just made a comment a few hours back that he may just be in Formula 1 for 5 years. Okay, which means he will retire much earlier than what we think we would like him to. He also said he may not only always be with Red Bull Racing. Okay, but the takeaway from this is if he races only 5 years, he needs to win all the 5 world championships
To overtake
Michael
Schumacher.
Schumacher's record.
That's my man. That's my man. He definitely needs to win this year because Red Bull has never won year before. Also, to put some light on the tire bit, Red Bull has been complaining about Pirelli tires. They are not going to get a Hankook tire on their car because Hankook has said, we're not coming. Michelin has said, we'll come only if there's another supplier there because we can't supply everyone. So, there's only one thing left to supply, and that is trivia. And I should tell you about this track. That's my favorite part of today's blog. And Kunal, this is when Kunal actually submits and says, you're the dates, man. Okay, little bit of history about Canada. Canada, amazing Grand Prix, amazing circuit, one of the classics. Ferrari hasn't won since 2004. That's when Michael won, and Michael had actually won 3 times in a row during that era. Post which, famous winners include Robert Kubica. He won with BMW. Also, he had a terrible crash here. That's the only race he's won here.
True.
Fabulously done. We'd seen the very infamous McLaren glide between Hamilton and Button. That is just after the wall, Champions Wall. And Hamilton ended up not finishing the race. And Button overtook Vettel on the last lap to get victory. Ralph versus Michael Schumacher. Every single time, and I mean every single time, Ralph is finished behind Michael, except here,
Yes.
where he's won once.
That's my man. That's Rishi. He knows all of this at the back of his hand. Yeah. And interestingly, you spoke about Hamilton Button. McLaren have won 4 out of the last 5 Grand Prix here.
And Lewis has won 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'll leave the maths with you. But I really don't know who's going to be up for victory. What's your view?
I don't know. See, I'm getting a feeling that one of the Mercedes cars might just be on the podium. This track requires a very fine balance between the curves and the straight line speed. Right now, I feel the best balance lies with Ferrari. But if the tire has anything to do, we might just see a Kimi. I don't see a Red Bull winning here. I don't know why I get that feeling. I could be completely wrong, as Vettel usually does that to me. What is your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is it is probably going to be Ferrari versus Red Bull versus Mercedes in that order. And we will have Sahara Force India in the mix somewhere out there. Yes.
Oh yes. Adrian Sutil has got some luck back. Lady Luck is singing for him. We are speaking for you. Kunal Shah and Rishi Kapoor get you this podcast on the pre-Canadian GP. In a week's time, you'll have the post-Canadian GP postmortem right there ready for you. Oh, we've had a contest that we'll be announcing winners of in the coming weekend. That's enough from Kunal Shah and Rishi Kapoor. You always have our Twitter handles. That's @RJ Rishi Kapoor and
@Kunal Shah.
We'll see you there. We'll get chatty with the thumbs.